first, let's get the latest from Tel Aviv with TalkTV correspondent Tom Mutch. Tom, thanks for joining us. We've heard from Benjamin Netanyahu in just about the last hour or so, and Israel seemingly thinking its ground offence is making some progress. Tell us about developments.
So I've actually recently been in Sderot. Sderot is the town in Israel that's closest to the Gaza border. And from there, you can actually almost watch the ground offensive as it takes place. You can see constant airstrikes, you can see artillery fire. And at one point, we even saw Hamas rockets coming towards us as they were fired from the Gaza Strip towards the positions where me and other journalists were filming from. Now, it does appear that the ground offensive has made some progress. The military are very tight-lipped. However, it appears that Israeli forces have taken positions on the Salah al-Din road, which effectively runs north from south into Gaza, and so down from Gaza City to the very, very bottom. And by doing that, they've effectively cut Gaza in two. Now, that means that we don't know whether they're yet going to storm Gaza City or instead just put more pressure on the city and the Hamas leadership that's holed up there.
Now, another element of pressure in all of this is, of course, the hostage situation, Tom. And, you know, the Israeli PM has been asked about whether a ground offensive really is the best way to go about getting them back. What do you make of that so far?
Well, it does appear that at least the IDF have managed to free one hostage from captivity through ground activities. However, I have to say, having spoken to family members of hostages before, they're very, very worried that a ground offensive, and especially in such a chaotic environment as an urban offensive into Gaza City would be, it would be so chaotic with so much artillery and airstrikes and gunfire flying all around that it would be very, very difficult to clear the tunnels where Hamas fighters are hiding while also keeping hostages alive. So I think a lot of people are hoping that there could be some kind of diplomatic sidetrack, whether that's hostages for aid or hostages for prisoners, Palestinian prisoners that are held in Israeli prisons. But a lot of people are starting to run out of hope for these hostages.
And what did you make of the strategy by Hamas, Tom, to release that video earlier on today of the 3 female hostages? What do you think their intentions were with that?
Well, it is obviously a very nasty thing to do. And as journalists, we generally can't take anything that hostages or prisoners of war are saying in these videos as it's assumed to be under duress. However, what I think it shows is that they know that the hostages are their most important bargaining chip. They are the one thing that gives them some sort of leverage over the Israeli authorities and how they conduct their offensive. So for me, it's just more of a strategy to remind Netanyahu and remind the Israeli public of that leverage.
Yeah, and Netanyahu, the man himself, who gave us those comments just a few moments ago, the main one being, he said this is a time for war, clearly under a lot of pressure internationally on either a humanitarian pause or a ceasefire.
Yeah, so basically what he is trying to say there is that the idea of a ceasefire or a humanitarian pause, at least in Israel's eyes, is for the birds. They have effectively committed to this offensive, and he is saying, no, there is not going to be a ceasefire or a pause. We are going to go for broke in this offensive. And look, people in Israel are just as aware as people overseas of how extraordinarily bloody this is getting. According to the Hamas-run health ministry, 8,000 casualties. Whether those are exactly reliable or not, we know the numbers have been huge. So it's basically him saying, we are willing to take that cost. We are willing to take the potential international opprobrium to complete the military objective of wiping out Hamas.
Tom Mutch, corresponding for us from Tel Aviv. Once again, thank you.